in the twilight of his career, he had an amazing bull rope match with Steve Corino in ECW, and he had a lot of shortcomings as far as booking wrestling and having great ideas or whatever. He had great ideas, the only problem was he didn't have a filter to tell him that less is more. To him, more was more and too much was never enough. And that's what pretty much led to the end of his run in TNA as a booker. It was because he was doing too much, and to him, it was never enough. He should just crank it up to the maximum. But I'm not here to be negative about Dusty. To a lot of people, to his sons, Dustin Goldust and Cody, who's Stardust, he was, as his theme song would say, he's the common man. And in everybody else's eyes, he was going to be everything but common, considering he is one of the best, or was one of the best in the wrestling business as a wrestler, as a talker, not so much as a booker. I mean, at first in TNA he started off really strong, and then unfortunately that more is more and too much is never enough mentality kicked in. But I have major respect for Dusty Rhodes for everything he accomplished for the wrestling business, and he will be sorely missed by everyone. Christopher Lee, of course, everybody remembers him as Dracula. Everybody remembers him as Saruman from Lord of the Rings. Everybody remembers him as Count Dooku from Star Wars. The one I remember him for is Francisco Scaramanga from The Man with the Golden Gun, the James Bond film, and my favourite gun of the entire series. I think it's a lot of people's favourite gun. Christopher Lee had a very, very full life that he lived. He was an amazing actor, amazing method actor, played villains to perfection. I don't think I've ever seen him play a good guy. And if he did, I mean, somebody please tell me that he did, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure it happened. I'll always remember him for being Count Dooku, or as I like to call him, Darth Tyrannus from Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. The curvy lightsaber, as I like to call it, and the fact that he was a master behind that role. I mean, a little bit wasted in Star Wars Episode 2 and 3, but he was like one of the high points of Episode 2 and 3. As Saruman in Lord of the Rings, phenomenal. He played the part of somebody who was a pure wizard turning to the dark side really, really well, and turning into Sauron's apprentice, or Sauron's liege, I should say. And that was really my proper first exposure to Christopher Lee. Apart from Man with the Golden Gun, I didn't realise that it was the same guy until years later. It was probably because of the beard and the fact that he'd gone white and everything. That's what old age does to you, and that probably sounds ludicrous coming from my mouth. But back to the story. He'll be forever known as Dracula. I mean, that's a given. Dracula's image is always going to be Christopher Lee. No word of a lie. Francisco Scaramanga, Man with the Golden Gun, is like my second favourite Bond film. I'll just put that out there. The first is Tomorrow Never Dies. But Man with the Golden Gun was for very different reasons. One, the Golden Gun, that's obvious. And then the character of Scaramanga himself. Very meticulous, very controlling, but calm, cool and collected character. And that was amazing. It was amazing to see, it was amazing to watch, and that's one of Christopher Lee's finest performances ever. And I give props where props is due. He will be missed by the film world, the people who knew him, the people who loved him. He'll also be missed by the metal industry, which I felt was like, he released a metal record in his 80s, and he had a passion for it, and I have major respect for him to do that at his age, although age shouldn't really matter in that situation. But yeah, he'll be missed. He'll be badly missed. He'll be badly missed by me, because he was such a good villain actor. Dusty Rhodes will be missed by me because I'm a big history buff into the wrestling business. I've researched the history of the business, and Dusty Rhodes comes up a lot during the NWA days. And he was the perfect foil for Ric Flair. Ric Flair, the perfect blonde-haired, slim, like attractive to women champion who goes around in all the flashy cars and flies on jets. And Dusty Rhodes is the complete polar opposite. He's a larger fella, country boy, who probably drives a pickup truck and isn't really noticed by many people because he's not as flashy. And yet he became the world champion in a very, very well received face turn, much celebrated as a matter of fact. And he transcended the business, the work he was doing with NXT before he died. I mean, you can't give Hunter all the credit, even though Hunter has been reaping all the credit since it became this big thing. Dusty was there behind the scenes helping, and he did his best. I mean, Goldust and Stardust have found that his teaching has served them well, and as his sons, they're the ones who are going to be the most hurting. I send the utmost of condolences out to the Rhodes family. I send the utmost condolences to Christopher Lee's loved ones and all his friends, and I will miss them both. Very different industries, but some of the greatest people. Thanks for watching this quick vlog, guys. I know it kind of came a bit soon after the last one, but I just had to get this out there, and kind of an emergency. Next video is going to be the in memoriam on Robin Williams.